MZTV.
Hey, as you are watching this, it is Thursday morning. I'm recording it on Wednesday evening, so as I am recording, Hurricane Milton is making landfall out in Sarasota, Tampa Bay area on the west coast of Florida. We got some wind here, but nothing serious. Remains to be seen tomorrow if anything's going to happen here. I don't anticipate it. We're in this little safe zone. It doesn't look like we're even going to get any significant surf. So it doesn't mean I'm going to be swimming in the ocean, even though, yes, I did swim in Hurricane Matthew. That's true. Do you remember that video? You didn't see me swimming in Hurricane Matthew? Okay, well, I will link that video below. So if you're curious, most people thought that, that was, what a clickbait title. Martin Zender swims in Hurricane Matthew. Clickbait. Then you click on the video and you see me swimming in Hurricane Matthew. So no clickbait here ever. I'm Martin Zender. Welcome to MZTV. And, yesterday I said that every single meteorological event or a political event now, because we are in the crucible of the final years of Millennium 6, the final days, I believe, of Millennium 6, everything counts. Nothing is not significant. I mean, but really, I could say that about any time in history, because the events that make up today depend on every single event of the past. It's so interrelated. Nothing that affects us didn't start. Well, I was going to say it's something that I thought it would be ridiculous, but now that I think about it, it's brilliant. Nothing that is affecting us today didn't start in the Garden of Eden. And as I was just thinking, that's going to be ridiculous to say that. Don't say that. I'm thinking, yes, it all started there. That's where mortality entered the human race, and it's been affecting our mood ever since. My gosh. We're victims of Adam's sin. He passed mortality onto us, and we are sinning because we're dying. So every little event counts. Every event today is made up of small events, and there's a long chain of events that go all the way back to the Garden of Eden. Talk about the first domino falling. So we are a living history. Everything is important. And I want to tell you this because you think that your life is ordinary and you tend to think that you don't matter. Nobody notices you. You wonder if God notices you. But every little thing matters, especially now because all these events have been piling up. And you, as a member of the body of Christ, are the next big thing on God's Aeonian calendar, and we are the key to the deliverance of the rest of the world. And so everything is focused on you right now. The celestial world is focused on you and on me. We are big news among the celestials. Not Hurricane Milton, no. But it's part of it. But the biggest news is what's happening with us. The world's inhabitants might not be interested in you. They may be bored by you. You might be bored by you, but the celestials are not. They are intensely fascinated, sitting on the edge of their seats, watching you smolder, watching you be depressed, because you are living out a drama. You think that some of your trials don't count. I know, I've heard from you, Martin, I'm not suffering evil for the evangel. I'm not suffering at all. I don't feel like I deserve any sort of reward from God. I'm lucky to be saved. And I am telling you that you are under attack constantly. And you are not aware. Not all trials are related to heralding the evangel, or being burned at the stake for the evangel. Not many of us have had that privilege lately. Of course, some of us, when we share the evangel with our friends, we're insulted and we're hurt. We're ostracized from the rest of our family. That is definitely actively suffering evil for the evangel. As I told you, I deal with technical issues. I mean, I'm dealing with family issues also. I'm suffering in that way. Some people hate me because of what I do. I'm suffering in that way. But just the technology involved in getting this message to you, I'm suffering. But I don't want you to divide your trials between ordinary ones and body of Christ trials, because there are no ordinary trials. This is what I want you to think about today: the trials, things you are going through that even seem to you to be mundane. They may seem mundane, but they are not, because God is purposely bringing things in your life that threaten to break you down. But this is by design, it's by purpose for you to overcome it. I'm not putting this forth as a challenge. I'm just saying that God, you will overcome it. I know you. You will overcome it. You will endure. You will survive. But I'm just telling you that there's purpose behind it. You think, well, there's no purpose behind it unless I'm suffering evil directly because of heralding the evangel. I'm just depressed, or I'm just angry, or I'm just anxious. I'm vexed by something at my job, at my work, or my spouse, or my brother, or my sister, and you don't think it's related to the body of Christ, so you think it's ordinary. And yet the celestial world is watching you go through these trials that are brought to you indirectly by Satan. No, I should say directly by Satan. Satan is sent by God to, can I say it this way? Is that okay? Fuck things up. Okay? And the celestials are gathered around, like, look at this, look at this. They're fucking with this body of Christ member right now. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. And I need to tell you something. That God is doing this for you, not to you. It's because of the struggle. Without the struggle, without the endurance. Well, endurance is a great trait, but you can't endure unless there's something to endure. I mean, that's such common sense, but we forget it. I'm just enduring, you say. I'm just surviving, you say. But that is a big damn deal if you're surviving and if you're enduring. But again, you're enduring what? Exactly. Okay, you realize that endurance is a great chip that you're going to be able to cash in. Endurance is a great chip. But unless you have something to endure, you can't endure. Huh? Do I make sense for a living or what? I mean, that's just hitting me now, actually. It's so obvious. But we think that we're only enduring. And again, to you it seems mundane. To you it seems ordinary. Like it would be more exciting if you were shipwrecked for the evangel, or if you were being beaten by the Sanhedrin, or, you know, if you had a date with the lion's den or something like that. It would be much more exciting. But again, I say, the celestial world is watching you endure. And it is exciting as hell to them. They are on the edge of their seats because ordinary people in the world crack every day. People are going by the wayside. People are just losing it. You have something special that they don't have. The Spirit of God is making its home in you in a big way to cause you to understand Paul's evangel, to understand your place in the Aeonian times, to understand what Christ accomplished at the cross. That is evidence of the Spirit of God working highly in your life, operating at a high level, really spinning, really humming. But it's invisible, it's inaudible, it's intangible. In no way can you perceive it, except you're watching this video and I am telling you that it's happening. Because Paul says we are a theater to messengers and to humans. We're a theater both to the human world and to the celestial world. And the celestial world, like you see those, we've been watching the hurricane. You see the satellite photos of the hurricane. When you're on top of it, it's easy to see where it's going. And it's easy to see its parameters. It has a beginning and an end, but if you're in the middle of it, if you're in the storm surge and you're getting your life tossed and soaked, you think you're never going to get out of it, and yet the satellite view says this thing's moving. You're on the outer arm. It's going to be another hour, and you'll be out. You see, God has the celestial viewpoint, and he knows when you're coming out. He knows when you're coming out. In the meantime, you're just sulking, and you're sitting there. Like Job. He sulked for days and days and days, and it sucked, and there's just no way out of it. But there is a way out of it. God brought him out of it. It came to pass. It did not come to stay. Whatever you're going through, it came to pass. That is an inspired saying. It came in order to go. And you are racking up points for endurance. And even a trial that is unrelated to the evangel, such as your car breaking for the 4th time this month, and your patience is worn down, and you feel like throwing something, or you feel like cursing out God, and you might throw something, and you might curse out God, and yet you're still in the faith. Because of the knowledge, like I talked about yesterday, because of the knowledge that no sin can spin you out of God's will. No mistake can eject you from the body of Christ. And knowing that, it settles you. If you didn't know that knowledge, if you were ignorant of that, the opposite of knowledge, then you wouldn't have the degree of peace that you have. As much as you don't think you have it, you have it. You have a degree of peace, or you wouldn't be surviving, or you wouldn't be enduring. You have a degree of peace. I'm telling you, believe me, because the Spirit of God is operating in you. Peace is one of the fruits of the Spirit. Love, joy, peace. Okay? It's in there. You might not have a lot of it, but you have it. And it is something you have that other members of the planet, other humans, other non-members of the body of Christ don't have. They don't have the degree of it that you have. And you feel miserable and wretched, but I'm telling you, you are desired. You are desired by God and by Christ, and he is perched, ready to come get you. And the celestial world, even now, those beings among the celestials, they're envying you, because I've said this before, but it's a principle in God's universe. The lowest go the highest. And Jesus Christ came to be on the lowest parts of the earth, literally, and he came to be in the most disgraced, shamed place on the earth, the lowest place figuratively, to the cross. And because of the lowering, because of his former estate, and by comparison, the lowering that he endured, he now has a name above every other name. And so because of the lowness, he was elevated on high, higher than he was before he came to be in fashion as a human. Likewise, you. I say that the celestial world envies you because they're not mortals. They've never been lowered like this. It's not like we've been lowered. It's not like we were in a high estate like Christ. No, we didn't exist before we were born. And yet, we are destined for the celestial realm. And we know that. And so our minds are occupied with that. At the same time, our eyes are looking at this pigsty that we're in. And the reason they envy us is because of the depth of this lowness. They're in a better world, I have to think. I have to think. And I'm talking about the good messengers, the good angels. They're obviously in a better world. They're on God's side. They're on the right side. But they're not going through mortality. They don't have 4 things going wrong with their car every month. They don't have friends die. They don't have to bury their pets. They don't have to have arguments with their spouse. They have a good life compared to us. And yet they envy us. Why? Well, does not Paul say that we will judge angels? We will judge them. In other words, we can't judge them unless we're higher than them. And they know that our place is to be higher than them because of the depth of our humiliation, because of the lowness, because of how your body feels, because of how your body looks, because of every low, embarrassing thing you're going through. They envy. They actually envy you because they have the satellite viewpoint. They see where the storm is, and if they could talk to you, they would say this: you people just hang on for a little more time. We're looking at it. We can see The Ionian calendar moving. You're right on the edge. If you just hang on for another 2 days, you're out of it. Just hang on, because wait till you see the glory. It's being prepared. We peeked at it the other day, what Christ is preparing for you. OMG. You people, you're going to die with delight. It's a figure of speech, people. Don't panic, okay? That's what the angels will say. Sorry, we didn't mean to use that term. We forgot how sensitive you were to the topic of death. Oh, and you see what God is preparing for you. Just hang on, just hang on. I'm telling you, they're on the edge of your seat watching you being miserable. In the misery prepared for you by God so that you can endure it. And God is winking at them. They're winking at him, saying that this guy, this girl, he's going to see why he's going through this very shortly. He's going to see that this was the greatest gift he got because it bought endurance. And endurance can be traded in for immense glory, way out of proportion to the investment. So this is coming, ladies and gentlemen. And like the eye in the sky that looks at the hurricanes, there are billions and trillions of eyes in the sky looking at you. And they see what you're coming into. And it's so glorious that they actually envy you. They actually envy you. I know, we envy them. No, that's the wrong perspective. They envy you. You are being prepared for greatness and glory.